Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. It's Patrick Morrison coming to you live here from Richmond Raceway. Interesting race we've got lined up for you guys here tonight as they are still shuffling out there just a little bit on trying to figure out, I guess, the starting lineup here. Seems a little backwards here that the pace car is not back out onto the track, and we are trying to scramble to get the pace car back out there. So a little stumble here as iRacing had a massive update before here tonight. Right now, so back in the old Commodore Amiga days, a 90 gig update was a joke. That was absolutely impossible to achieve. But it looks like Dustin Kleba may or may not be on the pole here tonight, so we'll kind of scramble a little bit to see what's going on. But let's take a look at what we've got here from Chevy Monte Carlo 400 here tonight. It's 240 laps. 77% fuel limit will be down there, and then, of course, there'll be 10 sets of tires down in the pits. That's going to be beautiful for us here tonight, except the only person who's not going to be enjoying tonight's race is going to be race control out there for Greg Tyson. Right now, he's going to be noticing no fast repairs, so guys are going to be mashing their cars all to pieces on this short track, so it is going to be extremely difficult. Looks like it is getting ready here as the pace car lights are still on as we get everybody lined up here. Stella, we should be probably green flag next time by, so we're going to see what they're saying is going on out there. Brian Jones looks like he'll be starting there on the inside line, as I do believe, as currently they are still shuffling around down here.
Yeah, we've got to find Kevin Baumler. He should be also on the front row if he's here tonight, followed by Dustin Kleba, Cody Reeder, Jeff Dillon, who is not going to be here tonight, so he qualified terribly well. But they'll be moving up into his spot. Vincent Arthur would be the outside on the third row. John Skavnicki in our fourth row, followed by Ryan Housden and Brady Motes. I will only go through the ones who qualified by time, followed by Matthew George, Nick Gillis, Patrick Coluccio, and Dalton Tucker. After that, our grid is set up by owner's points.
All right, 20 has a driver swap, so it's getting an EOL here tonight out there in the chat. So, like you were saying, we're kind of taking a look here at the starting lineup. Brian Jones and Dustin Kleba on the front row. And you've already run through this?
I have, and Anthony Kroback is the one who is in for Jacob Gladelick, the number 20 Home Depot car tonight.
All right, yeah, that's exactly who I was trying to run down. I knew we had one more body that got shifted around. Anthony Kroback, who's all the way back there in the 18th spot, will be out there in the number 20 Tony Stewart machine. I'm excited to see this one get underway here, Stella. Right now, a few other drivers have been kind of poking around out here just a little bit, whether or not this is going to be the race for them. They're definitely going to be working on their dive bomb art out here as they're going to figure out how they're going to slice underneath one another. And let's try to get this one under green flag as we get this one ready to go. Already Brian Jones taking off here. 3 Fords sit in the front, and we are underway.
Yeah, nice going. We're going to another short track. We were just at Bristol a couple weeks ago. Now, something to note here is, granted, Bristol is a much steeper track as far as our banking. Oh, dear. Somebody just got a little piece of Cody Reeder there, but he held on to it, stayed along the inside line. Yeah, Bristol, now mind you, is 43 feet wide. That's pretty darn narrow. The nice part about this one is we're going to have 64 feet wide, so maybe they won't do too much of that driving up into each other.
Yeah, the banking is pretty decent here. A little sidestep there from Cody Reeder as Vincent Arthur snugs into the second spot. Raced his last race, I believe, on earlier this weekend at Hickory. Actually finished P2 out there. If you're able to tune into Flow Racing, you can see Vincent Arthur out there. But now he's got a ton more power underneath these Gen 4 cars. And currently Vincent Arthur, he's sidestepped it a little bit there on his second lap out there as they continue to charge forward. Brian Jones getting a solid lead way out front by at least a second and a quarter here. Vincent Arthur sits in second, Ryan Housen third, Brady Mote fourth, Dustin Kleba rounding out our top five, but he is under fire here by John Skavnicki. Skavnicki to the the outside is Kleba, Skavenicki, and Reeder. 5, 6, and 7. Their Fords continue to charge forward and already falling way off pace is the number 23 of Nick Ham and Wayne Eastwood. These guys are scrambling to get back onto at least some pace speed here. Otherwise, they may be lapped here in a matter of about 18 to 20 laps.
Yeah, it won't take long. They're running 6 seconds behind, and we're doing 22, 23 seconds for a lap.
Our current points holder here of Dalton Tucker. Glad to see him returning back to the track. He has got to hold on to that points lead as we head into the playoffs. Stella, confirmed we are playoffs next week.
Yes, tonight will be the cutoff for the top 10. And yes, currently Dalton Tucker is still holding on to his top spot. We did have a change last week after Auto Club. Brian Jones, with his stellar finish, definitely took 2 spaces and is now sitting in second in the driver's standings.
All right, well, that's going to be good for Brian Jones. He's already gotten into the top 10, if not the top 12, moving into the next round. So he should feel pretty solid. Points will be reset come next week, and that will go ahead and signify who is in and who is out here of the running. Already a little sidestep out there from Nick Pressey, little in the Ward Burton coming out of turn number 2 as he scrambles to get back to the line. That's going to bring Matthew George just a little bit closer here, and it definitely seems to be where Matthew George does not exactly want to be here. Starting in 9th, he's scrambling to get up front. And right now, Stella, I've got to say, there's not really a safe place here on this track. If you've got a driver like Anthony Krobag, starting 18th is already working his way up the hill, passing the Rusty Wallace car there of Christopher Heights.
I like it. To me, I love movement as far as racing goes. I love to see passing. Sometimes you don't get that on some of the tracks where they're just all nose to tail, round and round, but this is my kind of racing.
Yeah, I know we talk a little bit about Abraham Motorsports each time. But all 3 of those guys have made it into the playoffs here. I'm excited to see that. Dakota Reeder sitting 3rd. I believe Brian Jones, yes, is 2nd. And Dustin Kleba snugging into the 6th position. So right now, Dustin Kleba, we've seen multiple times that guy just unable to come away with a solid finish. Pocono, it almost seemed robbed at that one. And I would say also a driver like Josh Conover is currently sitting in 8th. Same sort of deal. Goes out there and then gets mauled out there and just cannot get some solid finishes here. Now with Vince and kind of having some crumbling finishes there, he drops down into the 4th position. Costello, I would say guys still have opportunities to fight back and see if they can get just a little extra here tonight. I don't think Matthew George is going to be, I think he might be just a little bit out of range there, seeing he's about 732 points off the lead.
Well, that may be the case, but Kevin Baumler is not here tonight. He is sitting 1 place ahead of Matthew George.
All right, well, he does, what separates those two is 239 points. So right now it does look like Matthew George would need to win the race here and at least get some laps in some trouble if he does want to do that. Let's check back up on John Skavenicki. Looks like he's putting some pressure there on Cody Reeder. Remember, he was battling next to Kleba, but right now, fastest line here on the track is the low line. As this race gets on through here and kind of fades through the race, you're going to see that fast line start slowly rotating up the track as that rubber builds up down to the bottom. Skavenicki showing he can do it just right there from the number 43 machine. High side, he's getting clear here of Cody Reeder, but looks like Reeder not giving up. Might want to try to dive into turn number 1, see if he can get right there on that rear quarter panel.
Yeah, he's still holding his own. You were talking about rubber and staying on the low side. This track is known for being a real tire fryer, so they have 10 sets of tires this evening. I'm not sure they may actually need them all.
Yep, I would be really concerned right now is look at the number 42 there of Dalton Tucker. Seems a little offset here as it seems Dalton Tucker not seeming to move as fast as we had thought earlier here into the race, seeing that they are coming side by side. Dalton Tucker watching Skavenicki and Cody Reeder. Reeder now gets a fender out in front of the 43 Cheerios Ford out there, excuse me, almost said Chevrolet, and getting a little tangled up here with this being the Chevy Monte Carlo 400.
Yeah, trying to make them all Chevys, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put Dalton Tucker out right now. He was in practice about an hour before everybody else tonight. So, well, except for Brian Jones, I think he was in here too. So maybe he's just kind of sitting back, waiting for his time.
Well, 4 positions gained on the night as he moves up into the 7th position now, trying to chase down Cody Reeder. Dirty air, definitely a factor here tonight, but it seems everybody is still rocking around, doing a great job running at least 22 and a half seconds out there on the track. A little bit of fade off already from our driver, Brian Jones. Brought a 21.95 as the fastest lap. 22.57 was the last one, and slowly Vincent Arthur's clawing his way back to the front as we continue to see these guys rip it around here at Richmond.
Yeah, right now Vincent Arthur has laid down the fastest lap tonight of a 21.866. So he has that potential to reel him in.
Yep, who can come away with that top speed out there and come up with a little extra. Right now, Brady Moats now under fire here by Dustin Kleba. Kleba now underneath, makes the pass. Kleba up to 4th. Not bad for Kleba shuffling back earlier here in the race with a little bit of a EOL penalty from the Anthony Kroback, and the number 20 machine as his Monte Carlo goes to the back. And they continue to charge forward. Right now, Kleba doesn't seem to be bothered at all. He definitely wants to continue getting a little bit closer to his teammates who reside up in the front where Brian Jones and it looks like Cody Reeder sitting back there in 6th. Driver we haven't talked about much here tonight, Josh Conover, just breaking into the top 10 here as you see him right now working there on the backside there of Nick Pressey. Pressey had a little bit of traction issues earlier in the race, and Conover's now starting to work on him here as the Net Zero car in trouble, the Dale Jr. car down on the bottom.
Yep, he's going to take that low line, but he doesn't seem to keep it. So I'm not sure if he's trying to psych him out of not going on the outside, you know, a la Days of Thunder, but we shall see.
Yep. Keep our eyes on that. Here comes Conover down to the bottom. He's got a groove here right now, looking to move on through. So far, Nick Pressey able to hold him off in this D-shaped oval. High side there for Pressey. That's going to give him a nice sweeping turn into turn number 1 and 2. Hard on the brakes. The machine trying to reel him in. Not going to have anything for him. So Pressey, Conover, Matthew George, Anthony Kroback is going to be our guys 9 through 12.
Okay, Christopher Heights just came down and spent about 10 seconds in pits. Not quite sure why. Did he have a little bit of a scrub he had to go take care of, or just trying to do some offset pitting?
Seems like a little mechanical issue out of the number 2 Rusty Wallace Ford out there. Looks like the Miller machine is going to be taking it back to the garage. There may have been a mechanical problem.
Oh.
I do not see any movement out of Christopher Heights, but they are back in the garage, and the techs are out there working on it, so we may see him return, but I wouldn't put my bet on it. Being down laps this early into the race, that is not where you want to be. All right, less than half a second between Vincent Arthur and Brian Jones as we collect ourselves back here with Nick Pressey and Josh Conover. Conover down to the bottom here, taking another look. Pressey fends him off yet again. Right now, Pressey a little harder on the brakes as he's high in the turn, not where he wants to be here. Pressey going to be in some trouble as the number 8 Budweiser machine is taking a look. Nice ride alongside here as we take a peek. Right now, that is Pressey looking at the number 8 and right off the left front fender here. That's going to give him the opportunity to pull away with some sort of speed there. Nice angle. As we can see, Conover, I believe, will win this battle here, but currently that outside speed is holding up. As long as Pressey doesn't get too hard into the gas here, I think right now Pressey will be the one to beat, but currently Conover is working hard. Not only that, but take a look at Matthew George, who's right behind him.
Yes.
Matthew George really high into the turn between 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's who I was watching currently, saying, well, he's just going to wait for these guys to fight it out and zip by when something happens. Ooh, Pressey into the wall.
Yep, a little scrub to the wall. He already got a beat down from his body team last week. He struck that wall and just did not seem to get away from it. And right now, he's back into the wall again for another race. So Nick Pressey, yes, he's dealing with some new equipment out there, especially a steering wheel that he desperately needed. But Nick Pressey, I think he's starting to get a solid feel for this car. And I've got to admit here, Stella, Nick Pressey has actually been doing a lot better with the
Yes, he finished 4th last week, which was dynamite.
Yep, most of the time we talk to Nick Pressey up here, it's more in the infield car care center. And he was one place away from meeting us in a podium position. Very, very close, as you see Josh Conover slipping around just a hair. All right, apparently Brian Jones is tuned in to us here. Brian Jones now starting to step it on out here. Looks in the rearview mirror, noticed Vincent Arthur was under half a second, and the expel machine has started to pick up the pace. Currently separating himself by 3/4 of a second now and starting to grow. Vincent Arthur does start making a little bit of headway mid-turn, but not on exit here. Vincent Arthur is starting to reel him in just a hair. But right now, I'm wondering if Brian Jones is just trying to make sure he stays out front and just trying to work on him here, Stella. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of things happening out there right around the Jake Christenberry area. If we go ahead and take a look at the 48 machine, the Jimmy Johnson there on the outside, the Lowe's machine, and then we switch over to the 84, originally driven out there by Kyle Busch. I believe it's on the CarQuest machine. As all these Chevrolets, 9th through 17th, this is definitely heavily populated here by Chevys tonight. As we currently are watching Christenberry fall short with Wayne Eastwood making a solid pass. Hunter Sr. joining the league late. Looks like he is starting. Marlin Coors Light machine is taking a look here toward the inside. Another Chevrolet, and it looks like Christenberry way off pace here. He is shuffling backwards. Not a bad race here so far. Green flag for 42 laps. Patrick Coluccio sitting back here in the, I believe that is the Bobby Labonte Interstate Batteries number 18. Currently sitting now in 16th. Nick Ham, I said he was slightly off pace. The 23 is scrambling to come up with some sort of speed. He's kind of working pretty hard out there. Right now he's about 18 seconds off pace. That is going to give him here. And currently that is Brian Jones starting to reel it in pretty close. So I think if we take a look out the front, you can see currently diving into turn 3, that is Nick Ham. So we may end up with a driver still mobile out there on the track, ended up going a lap down here very soon. Checking out there on our fuel limit here. Guys should be able to squeeze out somewhere between 70 to 80 laps on a tank of fuel. We're going to hold them to it and see who can hold that kind of a line. Right now, Nick Pressey does catch up to John Scavenicki. Scavenicki on the way backwards now. Right now, that's good triangulation of the turn by Nick Pressey. He gets past John Scavenicki, and he's going to see if he can pinch John Conover. Conover now going to get stuck on the high line where he didn't want to be in the first place. And now Pressey to the outside. Around he goes. Scavenicki still holds on the bottom. Conover makes the full clear, and Matthew George going to see if he can fire in there. George running one of the highest lines out here tonight. Does not seem to be giving up an inch here, but he's not trying to get what's going on. I don't know if this is 100% exactly the way this race is going to be racing, but this is Nick Pressey yet again. Currently, these are the 2 drivers, actually the 4 drivers closest out there on the track. Once we reach up to around Dalton Tucker and Dustin Kleba, that's separated somewhere around 2.5 seconds out there, so we can tell who practiced and who didn't. But here comes Conover to the inside. Conover taking a peek around the zero machine of Nick Pressey. The Warbird machine might be looking at the rear view here, and he's going to try to squeak past him yet again. Right now, what I meant by the rear view is Nick Pressey looked like he had a line on it, but Conover rode that gear out just a little bit farther to dive into that turn. Makes it work. Conover looking back now at the zero machine and the 43 that stays stuck on the high line. Kind of gambled a little bit here whether or not that substitution of driver was a good choice. Does seem to be working out quite well here for Anthony Kroback. He's now finding himself somewhere here in the picture. Currently sitting 12th. He's under fire, though. Looks like Wayne Eastwood down on the bottom. Matthew George was toward the top and a little scrub to the wall from Hunter Sr.
Yeah, I saw that. I also saw Patrick Coluccio came down. Has he had some mechanical problems?
Yes.
Another 10-second stop.
Yes, he has. It was looking like something like a tire may have gone down out there, damage to the fenders, and Patrick Coluccio has taken it back to the garage here tonight. Just cannot seem to get enough speed out of that race car, and that is horrible out there for the Interstate Batteries machine. He is going to be finishing 17th tonight, made 46 laps. And right now, Jake Christenberry is going to be our first driver, still mobile, going a lap down. He's the 16th spot is where he is, and I believe that is the third place driver currently sitting behind him. And Stella, right now, I believe Nick Ham is about to be under fire. Nick Ham now goes a lap down, and that continues with Brian Jones out there in the lead. And currently, Nick Ham, even Vincent Arthur, a little higher into that turn. Brian Jones able to scurry away just a little bit, 0.6 of a second out front. And right now, this seems to be a very comfortable spot here for Brian Jones, as he is able to kind of to really keep his pace getting through these lapped cars. But I guarantee he got a little nervous when he got around Christenberry and Ham if he was going to be falling way off.
Yeah, always getting into that lap traffic. It can make or break a race real quick. Somebody can, a full second behind, can suddenly catch up, or, you know, if it stops the guy in first, or make it, oh, nasty little bump there to the wall. But, okay, yep, looks like he's okay. He's still running. He's just taking a little piece of track with him.
Yeah, 48 is Jake Christenberry ricocheting off the wall there as he's trying to come up with the speed. He has that pass me, don't pass me mentality here. Jake Christenberry hard into the gas again. Now is battling with our leader to stay on the lead lap here. Scrambling with everything he's got, no can do. It looks like Christenberry does squeak out in front, but just barely. Right now, Christenberry.
Well, all he needs now is a caution.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. With Nick Ham getting a lap down, Nick Ham is currently, I believe, in front of Jake Christenberry. This is going to be some trouble. Christenberry is, I believe, more than one lap down here. I think he's down 2.
Oh.
Yeah, so Christenberry having some trouble here. Christenberry did pit back on lap number 44. That's what got him so far off pace here. But with a set of fresh tires, he should be able to pull around and get away. Speaking of coming down pit road, there he is, the 45 Ford of Brian Jones coming down pit road. I've got to check out there in the chat. Jay is saying this is some great racing so far. Not poking at any other league, but last time we were here at Richmond, what a mess.
No, but not poking.
No, it was pretty rough. We were, I believe, well over 10 to 12 cautions out there. And it was rather sickening from our angle as we continue to watch this racing. We've already gone ahead and put 56 laps in the bag under green here tonight. Now, yeah, we'll go ahead and nix those 4 laps at the beginning while we try to shuffle everybody back through. But Cody Reeder and Brady Mote sitting here for 5th and 6th. This seems to be a hot spot right now. Brady Mote going ahead and pulling on through. Told me the process he's using here tonight is the one he's used for many, many seasons. And right now, Brady Motes is looking to have a great race here tonight. Cody Reeder looking to knock him out of the top 5, though, as Brian Jones, 4 tires and fuel out of pit road. But Stella, right now, I've got to say, his pit road team may have been caught off guard and half asleep. 16.68 seconds there in the box. That is dismal.
Yes, it is. And I haven't seen him make any contact as to why in the world he would have to get any kind of repairs done. Fixed league, he shouldn't be getting any adjustments. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yep. All right, dive bomb there by Cody Reeder. You see he's hard into the brakes, gets that left front rotor glowing, dives down to the bottom, and rides the paint all the way around. Cody Reeder able to make the pass here on Brady Motes. So right now the Bass Boat Tracker machine there of Brady Motes, originally driven by John Andretti. His Chevrolet is going to be tailing the number 19. Currently it looks like one of the drivers from Abraham Motorsports will be coming down in the pit road in his Ford. And that's going to be Dustin Kleba. He won't be alone though. Josh Conover and Nick Presley will be following down pit road as well. I'm pretty excited to see the pit road and pits under green flag, as currently Vincent Arthur is continuing to lead this race. Ever since Brian Jones came in on lap number 55, he has been out in front in the Jeff Gordon DuPont Chevrolet, and Vincent Arthur, I think the only thing he's got to be worried about is about 4 seconds back. There he is, our points leader, Dalton Tucker, currently sitting in second now. He still needs to pit here, and right now I believe, taking a look at our ticker here, I believe everybody in 11th. Yeah, 11th on up after pit. Ryan Housden and Anthony Kroback coming on down as well. Housden missing the box. That's painful. The number 20 finally working into the pits. I think Anthony Kroback may have been looking for the number 77 pit stall there. As you see how he slowly creeps in. He's used to running in his normal number. Part-time driver of Anthony Kroback snugs into the 20 here tonight. Speaking of 20, let's pick up 4, and that's going to bring us to Vincent Arthur, who's now coming down in the pit road, and Cody Reeder doing his usual. He's going to hang out there longer than anybody else. The 19 Ford now takes over the lead, and currently drivers like Nick Ham are pretty happy because he at least gets back on the lead lap here. But right now, Nick Ham is another driver that still needs to pit, but currently watching the leader, passing him under the other side, and Nick Ham going back down the lap. Vincent Arthur slowly working. There was Rainbow Warriors getting the left side tires on. And a dismal stop here for Vincent Arthur as well. 16.8.
Wow. Somebody needs to give these pit crews some coffee or something.
Yeah, right now, drivers are like Dalton Tucker with 14:42 pit stop. He's ecstatic right now. Here comes Dalton Tucker, and he's right on Vincent Arthur. Vincent Arthur, yeah, cold tire's going to swing him up the track there. Around Dalton Tucker goes, and Dalton never looking back. Here we go. He's now going to try to run down Dustin Kleba, but he's got to make up about a 4-second deficit.
Yeah, right now I'm watching Cody Reeder, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, in 2004 here, Jeremy Mayfield, the number 19, won this race. Maybe he's got a good luck charm so far.
Jeremy Mayfield, that's a name you haven't heard of.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, we take a look here. Still, our top 5 have yet to come down. Wayne Eastwood is still needing to come down. He's out there in that 84. Currently, seeing lunch. These drivers starting to pass him here. And this is not good. Right now, they may be rally capping for a caution here. If they do, they're going to be the smartest ones out there. Be able to go back out there with fresh tires and fuel, fresher than anybody else. As currently, Wayne Eastwood is currently, well, just for this reason, Wayne Eastwood is sitting at 4th. Battling there with Matthew George. Ooh, a little loose there. But that was currently Dalton Tucker and Vincent Arthur passing him here. These two guys are down 9th and 10th. So currently, they are looking for the number 19 of Cody Reeder, who is currently got Brian Jones now in front of him, his own teammate. So getting his lap back will be Brian Jones. Jones needs to figure out how to keep the distance. Currently out of all our pitting guys here, Brian Jones is out in front of Dustin Kleba by 2.5 seconds. And that's going to work out very well. Remember, Brian Jones was being run down there by Vincent Arthur. He's got almost 6.6 seconds. Nice. Between him and Vincent Arthur. So I would say Brian Jones may start taking it easy here and stay out in front of Dustin Kleba by 2.5 seconds. And just try to take it real easy on these tires. Lay it back just a little bit and let these other guys come down into pit. Drivers who haven't pit are Cody Reeder, Brady Moats, John Scavenicki, Wayne Eastwood, and Matthew George. I was going to throw Nick Ham in there, but Nick Ham has now come down into pit road. He's now down in the 16th spot, 15.45, and he is still on his way out of pit road. He exits now.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting an update from Jay out there in the chat regarding Jeremy Mayfield. Says he might be doing late models now.
Give it to Jay.
I don't know where he finds the time.
I don't know, but we may have to sling him into the booth for a little bit of expertise out there. He'll know where things are, who was on the track, or might have to get him up here for a little bit of a statistician out there. You know how the guys, in baseball, he's hitting the most doubles
Yeah.
in the month
Caution.
of June.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nick Ham might have looped it here, checking on his vehicle. Let's get the drone footage out there. The 23, there's a scuff to the left front. Looks like he's still pretty okay. He's mobile. There we go. Thought his gearbox got stuck there for a second. Nick Ham hard on the brakes. Apparently he doesn't know about the accordion effect it creates behind him when you run up on somebody. Now the big question is the guys in front consider our lap down. So our front 5 will pit.
Oh yeah, they're coming in.
And
For sure.
this is going to put drivers like Brian Jones way off cycle. So yes, he's going to come down. Dustin Kleber's going to come down. And the big question to me is Vincent Arthur going to come down?
I think he'd have to, wouldn't he?
To be that far off cycle, I would definitely come down. There's no doubt in my mind. I would definitely come down. Ooh, almost missed.
He heard you.
Yep, almost gets the barrels here. Dalton Tucker will most likely get the wave around here. Yes, that's going to hurt. That should put everybody a lap down. Christenberry, Conover, Presley, Kroback, Ryan Houston, and Hunter Sr. And we'll leave them laps down here. Interesting enough to see Dalton Tucker remain out there on the track. So we will see what causes Nick Ham to bring out our yellow flag here tonight. Overhead view, following behind the Sterling Marlin car, the number 40, and I think he's just going to loop it there.
Oh!
Hey.
Well, didn't...
That's all it costs. Hey, not bad. Kind of a silly caution, though. We've seen guys actually spin out facing backwards and nobody throws it. But with this huge iRacing update, we are going to cross our fingers that is going to, this is possibly getting fixed. Now, getting a little closer, taking a look at that left front, you do see some disconnect there on the bumper and a scuff above the wheel, so they may be making sure the sheet metal is not going to be touching, and we'll probably see the 23 return back out there, as currently is sitting down in his box, reaching over that 45-second mark, as these guys slowly putt around the track. And inside line is getting to form here, fella. Right now, I should see Dalton Tucker get the wave around. Yes, he does. Dalton Tucker will be a bit off cycle. Taking a look, he will be a 13-lap deficit from the rest of his crew out there. Nazi Racing, Dalton Tucker might.
13 lap?
Dalton Tucker came in at lap 62.
Oh, on the pit. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, on his pit. So right now, Dalton Tucker is going to be racing on a set of worn tires here. And he's going to be playing Jay out there saying even he's getting used to the new UI. All right, Cody Reeder going to get us started back off, and we're back under green flag. One caution here so far. I really appreciate the National Oval Racing Association for keeping the racing clean out here as the 48 machine of Jake Christenberry gets on that inside line trying to get his lap back. And once again, the 48 and the 84 find themselves door to door yet again. Currently, Brian Jones trying to get past Skavinicki here. That way he can go ahead and start marching his way up to the front. He's only got 3 drivers left to pass here, but he's got more cars than that in front of him.
Yes, always. When they do the double file and all the inside drivers are the lapped cars, it makes for an interesting gauntlet for them to get through.
An interesting gauntlet. Talk about we're only about a quarter of the way through this race. Brian Jones sitting now third. It's a little bit of tough on his back. Cleveland makes a good sweep, moving into fifth. Skavinicki falling back, running into Vincent Arthur here, with Arthur being on the full charge. Gets past Jake Christenberry, a lap car. Currently sitting in 15th. Stella, quick update there on the number 23 Chevrolet. Nick Ham, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. They fixed his car. He was heading back out.
All right.
All right, Vincent
Nice.
Arthur gives a nudge here to the 43 down the backstretch, letting him know you're in my way. Currently, the Jeff Gordon machine not real happy with the Cheerios car. Going to give him gave him a little nudge, and now he's going to work on him here between turn 1 and 2. Fades up. 43 going to have a high turn there, and now the 24 slices underneath. And next on his list will be Wayne Eastwood, who's currently just falling down to the 5th position as Dustin Cleveland picked up another one.
Yeah, but he was very calculating in the fact that he was driving the exact same line. Vincent Arthur was coming off of passing that number 43 car and had no place to go. 84 was right in his way.
Right, remember I told you what the process was going to be. Brady Moats is in second. Currently, that is the leader right in front of him by about 0.6 of a second. That seems to be the lucky number out here tonight by how far the drivers want to be out in front of second place. Currently, Reeder in his Ford sits in the number 1 spot. Brady Moats breaks up that team there as Brian Jones and Dustin Cleveland sit in 3 and 4. So that's everybody from the Urban Air Motorsport crew. And it makes you wonder how Hendrick out there with Brady Moats is still charging forward. Impressive job here as Vincent Arthur's up to 6th, and we are looking for Josh Conover down in 10th. There's a lot of drivers here having an opportunity to come away with a decent race here tonight. Stella, I've got to say, you know, a lot of people have been knocking one of these teams out here and kind of saying, you know, they really don't have a chance out there. And that's going to be Chip Nossi Racing. Now, I've got to say, Dalton Tucker leading the points out here, but both his teammates still remain on the lead lap. Unfortunately, downside the top 10, sitting down to the 13th and 14th spot. Do you think Dalton Tucker is doing anything out there to talk to his teammates about, you know, what they need to do to maybe shuffle up to the front and see if they can work a little bit harder on some of the drivers in front of them, or are they laying back and kind of waiting for the race as the pursuit car may be inbound?
Yeah, well, watching the earlier practice, Dalton Tucker was not seen with Ryan. You know, Ryan Housden and Hunter Sr. were not in the chat, at least, practicing at the same time. So when he's supposed to be able to get that information across, I do not know.
Nice little pass there from Vincent Arthur as we move to another Hendrick Motorsports team. A team member there of Vincent Arthur. He's currently got past Wayne Eastwood. Eastwood is now trucking on behind him now as Eastwood drops outside the top 5. That's still an 11th position gain out there for the 84 Chevrolet. Not bad for him tonight. Still kind of rally capping out there. Where is the 20 car?
He is in 12th place currently.
Yeah. Crowback just can't seem to break past 12. He's kind of stumbling here. Pressey is sitting in 11th. Conover rounds out our top 10 as we break past the line to start lap number 91. That means 90 have been completed here tonight. Awesome run here tonight. Appreciate you guys joining us here at the National Oval Racing Association. This is SimTraX Broadcasting live here on this Monday night. I'm Patrick Morrison, the lead position here tonight. Stella is joining alongside me tonight, and Greg Tyson will be out there watching as Conover sideways going through the lane.
Oh.
Landscaping destroyed out there. The number 8 of Josh Conover destroys the car.
Yes, and he had to get towed. That's going to be painful.
So yeah, something has happened here to Josh Conover. I'm wondering if there's something extracurricular outside of racing is collecting him up. Conover destroyed here.
You think he had a mechanical issue, or just, I mean, his tires shouldn't have given him any grief?
It shouldn't have. Let's take another look at that. Conover was coming on the front stretch here. Looks like it sidesteps and then...
Yep. Just...
Yeah, but very unusual. That is not the Conover way. You know what I mean? He is driving, and then all of a sudden that thing just goes straight through the front lawn there and smashes into the front door.
Yeah, with no deviation. You know, I didn't see him trying to correct. So that makes me wonder, like you say, if it was mechanical or like external of the track.
Yep. All right. Second place is starting to heat up here. Ryan Jones now working on Brady Moats. Moats falling off at 0.6 of a second no longer. Brady Moats has now let it go ahead and stretch out to almost double that. 2 seconds out front for Cody Reeder. Brian Jones not but 3/10 behind him. Currently, Moats might be in some trouble here. Jones has been working hard. I've got to say, Jones would love to get back to the front there, but I don't see out there in the chat LJ Hernandez rooting on our number 45 machine. Hopefully we get a few more people out there rooting on Brian Jones. Appreciate you guys looking here through the screen. We were talking a little bit about who was here and what we're racing here tonight before we saw Conover sling through the infield there. He spent the last 2 minutes down the pit. I think that's just a fraction of what he will actually be spending down there in the pit. So hopefully we'll see if Conover is going to return to the race or if we're going to find this guy in the infield car care center. Stella, not a good finish here if that's where he ends up for Conover. No. Especially with him currently sitting 8th there in the points. This is going to make it very, very easy here. With drivers like Matthew George and Kevin Baumler are needing to gain more positions. And Matthew George especially with Baumler not being here.
Yeah, agreed. I think Josh Conover is at 2 minutes as soon as they have to be towed. It takes them that long before he can even get his repairs started.
Yes, a minimum of 2 minutes. I know it is at least 4 under caution if towed.
Under caution, correct.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Righty.
Wow.
Yep, so pretty rough night here. Let's check back in on Ryan Housden and Kroback. Looks like there's a huge mix-up back here. We are currently looking at Ryan Housden there on the outside. Nick Ham is down about a handful or so of laps. Ham drops back. Housden now makes the pass to go ahead and get on around him. He's looking to see if he can get up to the 20 and down pit road comes Dalton Tucker.
Alrighty then.
Well, remember that offset pitting? He was going to be at a 13-lap deficit, and I think it's now punishing him.
Oof.
Coming down
well, we got a
pit
couple
road
more
now.
out there that are going to be just as bad. Nick Pressey came in on 60. Kroback and Housden on 61. Hunter Sr. on 64. So we're going to see a couple more have to come in before they cause caution for lack of rubber.
Yep. Now speaking of no lack of rubber here for Dalton Tucker. 4 tires and fuel. Back out he goes. 14:37. That's the fastest pit stop time here of the night. He is definitely on the ball. Great job here by Dalton Tucker. Unfortunately, this will put him down 2 laps, though, as Cody Reeder's quickly reeling him in to put him down to 3rd.
Well, that's painful. But here come Ryan Housden and Hunter Sr. coming at the same time like they did last time.
All right, Chip Nazi Racing, that's all their drivers coming down now. As Dalton Tucker works his way out, Housden and Senior on their way in. That's going to be no pit stops there. That's going to leave us our big question out there. Is Nick Pressey and when is he going to have to pit? He's been out there the longest. Lap 60 is when you said he came in, and Kroback came in on lap 61. So right now these guys are solid. I don't know. Well, I take that back. I don't know how solid they really are. A solid worn out tires. These guys, I've got a feeling. Pit road's going to be very difficult. They want to stay out there as long as possible. But if the tires are too worn out, they may be greeting the barrels at the beginning of pit road.
Right, that's what I'm concerned with. Either that or suddenly just, not being able to control it as well and running off into the grass or the wall, causing a caution.
You can already see some times like that. 23:03 by Nick Pressey. Currently this time 23:06 by Nick Pressey. Now our leader is still under the 23-second mark and currently still charging forward. Boy, talk about quick time. When we're talking about time, Dalton Tucker, 22.1. Right now that's his fastest lap here of the night, his personal best. And he is starting to pick up pace, trying to see if he can make up some time. Currently, Dalton Tucker, I guarantee, is starting to chew his nails here, whether or not he's going to be heading laps down if a caution does come out from guys now taking tires. This is where we ended up with our caution last time from Nick Ham when he spun out there on lap 71.
Yeah, agreed. Sorry. I was just watching what was going here and looking to see. Granted, did his fastest time here at a 22.085, but that doesn't really compute with some of these fellas, Brian Jones, Vincent Arthur, Brady Motes, who have all actually laid down a time in the 21s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, remember, Dalton Tucker has been fighting through traffic all night. This is the first time he's actually had open air to the grill of his car. And last time when he was able to lead a few laps out front, they were on worn-out tires. So with fresh tires, full tank of fuel, he's finally able to open it up. Here's Ryan Housden to the inside of our fourth-place driver, Vincent Arthur. Round they go, piece of cake there. Vincent Arthur going to give up just a little bit of a fight there to Hunter Sr. Sr. unable to make the full pass. Sr. going to stay down toward the paint, let Vincent Arthur stay toward the top line, back stretch, clear. Not bad. All right, good job there by the spotter, if I do say so myself. So we've got Brian Jones currently sitting in second. Well, that 1.2 second lead that Cody Reeder had over top of Brady Motes. Yep, well, he's got farther than that over top of Brady Motes. Almost 3 3/4 of a second, almost 4 seconds to Brady Motes. But Motes has been falling backwards. He's now down to 5th. Next for Cody Reeder is going to be Brian Jones, which he's right there, sitting right behind him, and none other than about 0.6 of a second behind. So
yes!
Right now, it's going to be Cody Reeder and Brian Jones. That's Housden looking to the outside here, and I've got to hope that maybe his crew chief has told him, hey, these guys are on fresh tires, go in and let them by. They are laps down, no sense in burning your stuff up, letting them race there. Now, Brian Jones is holding a conservative line here on the bottom. Let them work and burn their stuff up, trying to get back onto the lead laps, though. But right now, if I were Brian Jones, last thing you want to do is make anything detrimental to me. Brian Jones has currently got his Ford sitting in that number 2 spot, and all of Evernham Motorsports crew sitting 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic racing by the racing crew. One caution here tonight with 114 laps complete. That is an awesome job here. Only 2 fumbles here so far. Nick Ham with a spin out there on front tires back to lap number 71. And Josh Conover looks like he had a serious mechanical issue as he has spent the last about 9 minutes sitting down there in pit trying to get that car back together after his unfortunate slide through the front landscape area, smashing into the inside wall. And that took him out here on lap 92. So he has had to tow, got into pit road, and Josh Conover trying to put that thing back together.
Maybe he'll come up to the infield car care center and let us know if it was something, like a pedal got stuck or a wheel came off or something like that.
Yeah, keep an eye on that and see if that is going to be see if that's going to be the case, and see if we can get somebody to go talk to him and see what's going on down there for Josh Conover.
Nick is finally turning it in. He's coming down pit road.
Nick Preston.
Yes.
All right, good. Nice little pit stop for him. About time. I would say Anthony Kroback shouldn't be that far behind him. Right now, that's the Home Depot car. They're originally driven by Tony Stewart. He came in on lap number 61. A lap later than Pressey, but the number 20 will stay out.
Wow. He's definitely doing some tire conservation.
Yeah. Fuel-wise, they should be in pretty good shape out there, but I don't know long-term if this is going to create a little bit of a problem out there for Kroback and see if he will be able to boomerang back.
Well, I guess as long as he's still on the lead lap, yeah, okay, but he's 15 seconds back, isn't he?
Ryan Jones coming down.
Yes. Well, he can't be trying to make this his last stop of the evening.
No. No, so
So,
Brian
that's
Jones from lap
unusual.
75 to 120 coming down for a fresh set of tires. He was
Wow.
noticing some of his pit stop, or some of his times out there were looking pretty dismal. He shaves a little bit off, comes down pit road. 4 tires of fuel for the 45.
Well, everybody's licking their chops now.
Yeah, one of their biggest competitors out there coming down into pit road. Right now, Vincent Arthur's got his eyes set on the 2 Fords in front of him of Reeder and Kleba as they battle here for the lead. up front. Kaliba takes over from Cody Reeder. Gets his Ford out front, and now he's going to charge forward. Not bad by the Casey Kane machine out there of Kaliba. Kaliba getting out front here of Reeder. Vincent Arthur starting to reel him in, though. Already starting to see a few guys pitting. Anthony Kroback, he comes in.
There we go.
Yeah, almost was able to actually double his mileage out there. About 62 laps is how far Anthony Kroback went on a tank of fuel.
Okay. Okay, so no matter what, if anybody's coming down now, they're still looking at one more stop before the end.
We're probably looking at least 2 more stops.
Oh?
Yeah,
I figured
180
if
to
you go
240,
60.
and that's going to be a stretch.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be close. That'd be a little closer. Not one big off these guys finishing these races and can't even get around for the burnout.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. Or have to get pushed to to the back to the finish line to get their pictures done.
Yep. Now we have broken past the halfway point here of this race. Kaliba now leading it. And currently we are looking at 1, 2, and 3. Driver coming down and getting tires already was Nick Pressey back on lap, I believe it was 116. 14 and a half seconds down there in pits. Stellar time by him. Vincent Arthur now working on Cody Reeder. It almost seemed like this is a little bit of deja vu here. Cody Reeder getting a mirror full of Vincent Arthur. Arthur getting a little closer than I think he wants him to be. We take a look back off Cody Reeder here. The Chevy Monte Carlo there of Vincent Arthur. Let's see if he can come away. Wow! Cody Reeder backs up that turn. And now watch Vincent Arthur try to see if he can sling through the turn.
Here we go.
Yep, gets a nice little peek here. The 24 machine will not be able to clear. So you can see that wheel jiggling left and right. So right now, you know Vincent Arthur's wheeling this thing. Trying to hold on. Really not bad. Good job by Cody Reeder. That's where I say that's a pinch down toward the bottom. You saw Vincent Arthur have to check up just a little bit there to keep from. Yeah, there's.
Hello.
Well, this is some racecraft here. This is what Brady Boats and I like to joke about a little bit. This is a little battle between these two. You want to make a clean pass, but it almost looks like Cody Reeder's brake checking him here. Vincent Arthur almost giving him a nudge. At 1:30 underway, our leader, Justin Kaliba, comes on in.
As well as Matthew George and Jake Christenberry.
Yep, Matthew George came in 1 lap prior to that. As currently Kaliba is working his way into the pit box. He has now entered the box now. So it takes about a lap for these guys to get into their pit box, and about 15 seconds to pit. Then get back out there. So they've got to be really on the ball here, especially Vincent Arthur's team, if he wants to be this close to the lead when he comes back out of pit. All right, take a look down there on the bottom. That's the number 20 of Anthony Kroback looking to get one of his laps back. There is some damage there to the left front. Really doesn't seem to be affecting him at all, though. Fresh tires around he goes. Should put Kroback, I believe, only 2 laps down, I believe. Kind of hold our breath on that. Vincent Arthur coming down.
Go.
Not bad, all right. Drink water there, as you're excited to see. The DuPont Chevrolet coming on down. Cody Reeder now sitting in that number 1 spot. Brady Motes resumes back to the 2nd spot, but he's got 5-second deficit to make up. Wayne Eastwood still remains out there in the 84 car of Kyle Busch, and he's still battling up toward the front. Right now, Wayne Eastwood's been doing a great job here tonight, gaining almost just about 15 positions to get up to 3rd. And this is definitely working out very well for him. Brian Jones looking to see if he can scramble back to a couple more laps. Currently has Brady Motes behind him. Brian Jones is looking for Cody Reeder. And if he can pass Cody Reeder, he'll be back on the lead lap in 4th position. Cody Reeder will still have to pit. Yeah, not
Vincent
bad.
Arthur made it. Yeah, Vincent Arthur made it in 14.82 in his box on this stop.
All right, not bad. And slinging 20 lug nuts and 22 gallons of fuel. Back out on the track. They go, and Vincent Arthur will now resume the 7th position. Still waiting for everybody to shuffle on through. Brian Jones did pit on lap 119, and Vincent Arthur coming in on 132. So a little bit of offset pitting between these two teams here, but Cody Reeder still remains out on the track. Our top 3 drivers out there haven't been to pit road since lap number 75. That being a good chunk of time here, that's going to be really the scramble, whether that's going to be the right way to go. So we already look, if we got 75, lap 100's 25, lap 125 puts it to 50, and they should be breaking past that 60 lap mark already, and they remain out there on the track, which is quite impressive by all 3 of those drivers to make it that kind of fuel mileage.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder whether they're coming in for strategy and not for necessity. And a lot of these pit stops.
I would wonder what the advantage would be. The only thing I've noticed is any advantage we're looking at here is a possibility of about maybe a second. Dalton Tucker right now, last pit on lap 100. So he's about 40 laps on his tires and is still running at 22.8. But our drivers in the front are running 23.4. Yeah, Cody Reeder may need to pit here pretty soon. But let's pick somebody who's been out there earlier, 22.06. So 1.4 seconds. Faster is Vincent Arthur than Cody Reeder right now. Yeah, Vincent Arthur's actually 7 seconds faster than Brian Jones if he wants to reach up there and grab a hold of him again. Vincent Arthur definitely speeding around here. Dalton Tucker, he came in on lap 100 here. So, yep, 6th place for him. Dustin Cleve was 5th. No difference in pitting out there. Everyone is 4 tires and fuel. I don't see anybody considering taking only 2.
Yeah, no. And again, would that be, why you'd get, what, a second, back or so? They need all the tires they can get.
Yeah, but a caution is going to mess everything up out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely going to undo it. Stella Weir still keeping tabs out there on Josh Conover. Still has yet to leave the race car out there after 19 and a half minutes. Maybe they've got hopes of getting him back out there. If Conover were to pick up a position, he's got to make up at least 40 laps.
Yeah, Nick Ham passed him just as he was coming down. Because he'd gotten back out there. As soon as Josh Conover came to the pits, Nick Ham had passed him. So he already, it would have to make a huge, bad bump there.
Yep, Wayne Eastwood starting to really feel the tires here. They are starting to wear down on him. 1.2 seconds, Wayne Eastwood is trying to run down Brady Motes for the 2nd position as they still remain out here on the track. That's definitely something we are keeping an eye on out here. Right now, Cody Reeder out in front of his own teammate is Vincent Arthur getting his lap back. And that was Dustin Kleba as well, currently sitting in front of him. So that leaves only 6 drivers here on the lead lap, which is pretty wild. Vincent Arthur being the last one to get through. Dalton Tucker trying to quickly get back up there to Cody Reeder, so he can get back on the lead lap.
Pretty wild, but I don't find it unusual at Bristol. We have seen that before. We have 25. Oh, excuse me. Wow.
Sorry, before you got too far.
Is it past my bedtime? Yeah. Well, we've had 25 drivers to start the race and 4 of them end on the lead lap. So. Yeah, these short tracks are kind of murder for that. Would it be, I mean, would people stay on the lead lap better if there were more cautions? They wouldn't have so many green flag pit stops?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
So if a caution were to come out now, you want to talk about undoing half the field. Well,
Yeah.
how Dalton Tucker ended up a lap down? He had to stay out because he came in on a green flag pit stop, and that didn't work out. So now Dalton Tucker's still off pace here, still offset. He hit on lap 100, so he's about 50 laps on these tires, and is trying to run down Cody Reeder with only 25 lap pressure tires. I just don't see it happening. There's no way.
Yeah.
He's got to make up 5 seconds to find him here.
I was going to say from 7th. Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
So Nick Ham came down, headed out for another refresher.
Check this out. Here's a battle for 5th. Right now, that's Vincent Arthur and Dustin Kleba going at it here. There we go. All right. Kleba looking there on the outside. A little peek was Vincent Arthur, no can do. So Kleba doing the exact same moves that we saw Cody Reeder doing earlier to the 24. Must have been just about the time. Normally Ray Evernham was the crew chief out there of Jeff Gordon. Currently these guys are still with Ray Evernham Racing, and this is when Jeff Gordon had shifted over to Hendrick.
He has stayed there for the rest of his life.
Yes, and it's actually the VP now, like that.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of like Michael Jordan. Ended up buying Wayne Eastwood and Ryan Houston down pit road, and Wayne Eastwood coming back out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys end up buying the team, or buying a competing team even.
Yep. Well, yeah, Michael Jordan coming up with 23XI out there currently.
True. And I was also thinking of the Yankees shortstop. I think bought the Marlins, or a piece of them.
Who? Peter?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Our leader coming on down, but leaving Brady Moats out there. Wow. So gambling for a caution. These guys are not going to get it. Brian Jones less than 10 seconds from regaining the lead. That's going to put Brady Moats down at least 30 seconds by the time he makes it out of pit road. 30 seconds is just barely enough, depending on him getting up to speed. He'll be down a minimum of 2 laps here. Brady Moats working his way down. Here comes Brian Jones. And he will recapture the lead here.
Wow.
I think right now even the NORA League here is quite impressed with the green flag racing. How long have we been green? I mean, this is impressive here. Normally we do see a slew of cautions at these short tracks, but only one was giving out here. So the Chevy Monte Carlo 400, fantastic race here tonight. Currently we are seeing Brian Jones, Dustin Kleba, Vincent Arthur 1, 2, and 3. Moving us on to Dalton Tucker and Hunter Sr. 4, 4, and 5. Currently Dalton Tucker and Hunter Sr. will have to peel off after a while, seeing their lap pit stops around the 100 to 102 mark. Most of these other guys are sitting around the 120 area to 130. So currently they will be at a disadvantage here as they continue here at the cradle of the Confederacy, the Richmond Raceway here. As we currently see Brian Jones up in the number 1 spot, scrubbing to the wall out there. Brian Jones makes it clear there on Anthony Kroback in the number 20.
Yeah, I was watching Anthony Kroback doing the squirrelies out there after he made contact with the wall. A little concerned, but he managed to hold on and still trucking along.
Yep, so far so good. Nick Pressey trying to hold on to his lead lap, but that is not going to work. Pressey on the outside here, battling with 45. He did a little bit of this with Josh Conover, as Pressey finally getting a little bit more screen time here. Pressey right now is holding the 9th position, although he does fall down a lap. Crowback sitting behind him about 0.2 of a second. Jones makes it clear, and into turn number 3, no problems. But that's going to give Dustin Kleber and Ben Carlo really something to combat with out there, as they are currently trying to get back up to the lead, but just can't. Lap traffic's got him in the way.
But Dustin Kleber just went from a 1.5 separation to, you know what?
Let me guess.
6/10.
6/10 of a second. Well, take a look at Vincent Arthur taking a look to the inside. Kleber dive bombs it in there, too heavy. Vincent Arthur going to have the opportunity here as he takes a look to the inside. Little scrub there as Kleber's getting a little bit loose. We take a look off the side of Vincent Arthur's machine.
Yeah, they're pushing it close. They were almost 3 wide there.
All right, KCK number 9 out front, definitely holding on there as the DuPont Chevrolet is starting to reel him in. Look how close we're getting. Crossing the line here, less than 1/10 of a second between these two as they battle into turn number 1 and 2. Here comes Brady Moats. Moats last hit here on lap 156. He's going to throw his hat in the ring. This is only to try to battle for laps back here, and Vincent Arthur sends it into the back of Kleber here. Kleber destroyed.
Yes. Wow.
Housden caught up. And I believe not only was Housden caught up, I think that was Dalton Tucker.
No.
Rage on the racetrack here. Race control going to have to try to collect these guys and calm them down. Right now, they're going to have eyes on the 24 machine who started this run here.
Yeah, he definitely gave him a little chin music there from the backside. But my goodness, once he was against the wall, I'm really surprised he came down into traffic, because that really killed some people. So, full-scale evacuation into pit road.
Yep.
Hunter Sr., Brady Moats looked like the only ones who didn't come down this route.
Caution review here. As Vincent Arthur catches him. Yeah, watch this as they come into the turn. Yeah, Kleber's making the cut down. He's keeping right there with Moats. And it looked like Vincent Arthur sent into the turn a little too hard.
And then snag.
So pieces of Kleber everywhere.
If he just kind of held still right there, the caution was already thrown. But instead, yep.
Yeah, and 2 teammates there from Chip Nazi Racing get collected.
Oh,
Housden
wow.
with a ton of damage.
Yeah, he was on 2 wheels.
Yeah, I would say Kleber may have thought he was down toward the paint, and Housden was actually riding middle lane.
Yeah, my thing, I guess it's the fact that in iRacing you do not race to the line to make your placement once caution is called. You have your placement, period.
Yeah, caution was already out.
Right, that's my point. While he was up on the wall, caution was out. Waiting would not have been a bad thing. Oh, man. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but also in Dustin Kleber's defense, if he doesn't get back to the line soon enough, it'll put him a lap down from where the pace car came out.
Oh.
So him spinning around and trying to going back straight, I can see why, but I don't know. Everyone's going to call this one a racing incident. Ryan Housden needed to catch back up to the pace car. because you know, he doesn't want to miss a pit stop, but you can't. But you want to blame Cleveland and send him back down. Not only one but two drivers in the turnaround there.
Yeah.
But he's trying to get back so he doesn't go a lap down. So I mean, it's kind of a damn if you do, damn if you don't area as we get back under caution here. 43, John Scavanicki looks like he's the next driver to go around. And here we go. Caution fever is out.
Wow.
All right, let's see what silly mess up this is. Scavanicki, Christenberry caught up in this one. We'll see if this causes any more trouble than it's worth. Hopefully not. Let's take a look. It's right on the restart here. I'm one of, yeah, 43 just loops it here. Fresh tires, is the 48 meet him? Yep, clink.
Doink.
He just ran out of real estate. There was nowhere for him to go.
Okay. Okay, but nobody, that was it. Nobody else making marshmallows out there.
Yep.
Okay.
Damage check here on Dustin Kleba. Heavy damage there to the 9.
Yeah.
Dalton Tucker. Doesn't seem much of the same, though. Currently showing Dalton Tucker was not given a meatball flag out there, so he is going to be a possibility of returning.
But he's been down over 30 seconds already.
Yep.
So Matthew George coming
goes.
in. Hunter Sr. coming in, taking advantage of this back-to-back cautions.
Yep. And Ryan Housden has retired for the night.
Yeah, there was nothing left of his vehicle.
Yep. So Ryan Housden will have a 15th place finish, as Nick Ham will be passing him next time by. Boy, hats off to Nick Ham for sticking it out there.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a good chance we may see him actually end up in the 13th place finish, as Kleba is creeping up to the 2-minute mark down there in the pit box. And Dalton Tucker trying to get some more work done. Teammate of Hunter Sr. working his way out of pit road. So he may worse for the wear. John Scavanicki showing a possible black flag. I believe he was black flag. They're going to call him for an EOL for a caused caution. Back in the line he's going to go. As lap cars will start to the inside line. Stella, we haven't been double file here since the beginning of the race. Pace car lights are out. Everybody's got to kind of choke up and get closer here. Looks like Matthew George, a little gun shy.
Matthew George. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if he's being told somebody needs to pass him here. Lapped car, so he should have to be on the inside. He's trying to avoid a penalty here.
Yeah, you're there. They told him to get
Dalton
behind the 48, and he was behind the 43, thinking he had the right number. Welcome to my world.
Okay, they extended this one more lap. I think they were getting a little bit... Yeah, everybody's getting a little bit mixed up out here, trying to figure out what exactly is got to be happening here. Yep, there we go. Moving Hunter Sr. up a little farther, because Hunter Sr. is still on the lead lap. And he needed to get out in front of the lead cars. That does knock our 43 car, John Scavanicki, farther back. And they're saying he's going to have to start at the end of the longest line.
Ooh.
So that's even farther for him, as you see him sitting way back here.
My goodness.
Definitely painful. That's going to be a rough start. All right, what do you say we see Brian Jones get this one restarted here? Get lap 175 underway.
Heck yeah.
Excited to see this one continue on. Brady Moe's high side. Ella Strawberry joining us out there tonight. Joining us here for the race. Got a few slow cautions here. Seems everything is starting to calm down just a little bit. Scavenicki trying to get past some of the lap cars. 176 underway. Take a look at Dalton Tucker. He's got his car. He's pretty much in shape. 42, hopefully he can battle back on it. But we'll have to see if that's going to hold out. Brian Jones out in front by 0.6 of a second over top of Benson Arthur. I swear.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
All right. That's going to leave us here. We kind of got our eyes set here on Brady Motes. Getting a little bit of action that's happening behind him there. I believe that should be a lot of lapped cars, one of them being Jake Christenberry and Wayne Eastwood. Crummy start for these guys. Remember how long they stayed out there on the track. Got some lead laps, got some time up in the top 5. And now all of a sudden, all of them are lapped down. So really, I'm looking at only our top 6 drivers are on the lead lap, and Brian Jones is knocking down some of the fastest times here. Stretching out to now a second, 21.86. His last lap, and he's run those times back to back. Excellent race here so far. 45 Ford of Brian Jones leading the race. 42 Chevrolet, number 24, driven by Benson Arthur tonight, is sitting in second. Brady Motes out there in the number 1. John Andretti machine is Chevrolet, sitting in third. The senior out there in the Sterling Marlin, Coors Light, number 40, sitting in fourth, gaining 12 on the night, and Nick Cressy back on the lead lap as we end up back under caution. I believe Dustin Kleba is around. Dalton Tucker involved. That is some wild stuff here that we are seeing out of our top 6 in the points being involved in wrecks here tonight. Dalton Tucker, our points leader, who desperately needs, if he wants the regular season win here, a solid finish. He's only 168 points ahead of of Brian Jones. Dalton Tucker may see this one come crashing down. Well, let's take a peek here. What caused our caution? Boy, Dustin Kleba's car. Did you see that? Yeah, I'm not going to poke at Dustin Kleba, but watch his car. Look how it's crab walking before it even gets into the turn.
It is.
Yeah, I think they were going to black flag him and tell him to come back down. And the 42, I just don't think he thought the 9 was going that slow. So a little miscommunication by those two drivers. I know those guys are, I would say, enjoy each other's presence out there on the track. Not really a hate relationship between those two. So a little mistake, a little conversation out there, and they'll try to get this thing back straight. Stella right now, I think everybody bowing down here. As Anthony Kroback, we thought he had a chance out there. He thought he was going to stay out. Kroback was looking like he was going to be restarting in the second spot. Does not seem to be the case. This will give the wave around as some of our guys decide to come in. Anthony Kroback working his way on down, as he's going to be looking to throw on 4 tires and fuel. Look what Brian Jones is doing here. I don't know if he's electing inside line, but he shouldn't be. This should be pit road visit. Huh. All right, Stella, what's he doing? You think he's trying to save enough fuel to make it to the end?
Oh, man.
I told you it was going to be tight. And the pace laps are helping him immensely.
I imagine it would, but
Save about
man.
1 to 2 tenths per lap. Well, we've seen him go over 60.
We have. We've seen him go, what, almost 75? 70 to 75?
Yes.
Man, okay.
All right, look how close they're getting up toward the top of the wall, not snugging down this time. Here we go, back underway.
Wow, we still have some strange-looking driving going on right now.
Yeah. There's some side-by-side work out there with lapped cars. Brady Mote's here to the outside there of Cody Reeder. And Jones is trying to scurry away here. And we are back under caution. Yep, there we go. We're getting them back to back to back to back now.
Oh, yeah. 85. Yeah, we're going about 15 laps. Sorry.
All right, starting to get pretty painful here. I wonder if they're trying to get Josh Conover back out on the track.
Oh, dear. After 42 and a half minutes?
I hope not. But well, what in the world happens here? Trying to hover around the... Oh, yep, there he is, the 84.
That's who I was looking at. Yeah, when I saw some strange driving going on. Okay, but
that brought out a caution?
But seriously? Wow.
Stella, we can only hope that iRacing has gone ahead and thrown cautions out for this. I think real time, real day, that would be enough to bring out a caution that he's a danger to the drivers out there on the track.
Behind him and all, yeah.
Right, but what
we have seen so much worse.
Right, we've seen previously 3-car pileups that don't bring out a caution.
Yes,
so
yes. Well, maybe there have been enough leagues that have complained, and they, like you say, just did a big update. Maybe they're gonna change it up a little.
Yeah, remember that call is not left up to race control out here tonight.
No, negative. Right. We are missing a couple of number 45 people that normally watch. Sometimes they say hello. Sometimes we say, "Where are you?" And they say, "We're here."
Yep. Maybe he's shuffling up out there, trying to work on some different stuff out there on the track. Cody Reeder coming on down in the pit road.
Oh, yeah. Oh! It almost looked like he gave him a boost.
Yeah. Well, taking a look out there, Stella, is there anything being said down there on pit road? I know the number 42 machine is not real happy with what kind of racing's being held out here. I know that there was a tangle up between Dustin Kleba and Ryan Housden. Remember, that was him with Chip Nossi driving. And then, oddly enough, once Dustin Kleba was fixed, got back out there on his lap 167, so now but 3 laps later, and collects another driver there from Chip Nossi Racing.
It was kind of unusual. They may be having words afterwards. Hopefully, no helmets thrown. But it was getting kind of wild as to how can you kind of taking my whole team out here.
Yeah, well, you've got one guy who's in the points lead. You got Brian Jones, who's currently very, very close to possibly taking that back. With Dalton Tucker unfortunately missing one race. So this could be the make or break here. And right now, I've got to say, this has got to be very, very careful there. Dalton Tucker, I guarantee, has got his sights right now on that car sitting directly behind him. And it looks like Dustin Kleba is right on his rear bumper. So here at the start, watch the 9. Whoa, okay. Yep, we know what that's about.
Wow.
Returning the favor, Dustin Kleba into the 24 out there of Vincent Arthur. Vincent Arthur's car may be heavily damaged.
Doesn't look it. It's got a little bump on the front right.
Yep, we are not going to go ahead and broadcast what is being said over the radio, but I am just showing you guys here in the corner they are having a conversation. As they are letting each other know what they really think. Expect Kleba to possibly return back and give him a little more.
Oh my. Well, he's going to have to get repaired a little bit too before he does that.
Yeah, well, remember Dustin Kleba ended up getting dumped back there on lap 164 by that 24 car.
Yes.
So we'll review for anybody who's just now tuning in. This is what the number 9 is upset about. The 24 getting in the back of him there. 24 able to weave on around. I think the 9 wanted to clip him before he went by. And that collected Housden and Tucker. And here we go. Here's the 9 getting up to speed. And he knows better than this. That is exactly retaliation.
Oh.
There's 110% retaliation.
Wow. Wow. Well, Vincent Arthur is down pit road. I'm really kind of glad right now that you can't make contact if you're in pit stalls. Oh, yep, he does have a bit of damage there on that front quarter panel.
Yeah,
Both
a little
sides.
bit on the right front fender as well. As Dustin Kleba looks like he goes ahead and enters into his pit box here. Expect Kleba to get just back together. I'm wondering if they're going to be currently crushing him here.
Crushing?
What's that?
Crushing?
Yeah, trying to crush his car back.
Oh, okay.
Everybody crunches back together out there on the track.
I want to see if he does it again. Brady Motes was checking to see what the octane level was coming out of Brian Jones's car before restart last time. And I was kind of curious, you know, what he was working on there because, man, Brian Jones took off. But was there a push? Was he just...
Brian Jones controls the restart.
Right. But I'm just curious. I mean, he was right up to him.
All right, we'll see how this goes. There he goes.
Cam. Wow, nice takeoff.
Yep. Now, Nick Ham doing a good job, I think, going ahead and letting everybody sling on by. I don't know if he's quite at pace. Nick Ham breaking loose, and this is going to be where the problem is. Here it comes. Go ahead here. 23 survives. Everybody's slicing around the outside.
I think Vincent Arthur's having a little bit of steering problems, though.
Oh, yeah. He was making sure on him for the remainder here of the race. One of those, if you don't remember what you did to me back on lap 164, you're going to remember me all the way till 240.
Yeah.
So, I would say good little rivalry out here on the track. Love to see it.
But
I would say as long as it is earned. I just don't think this is the race to do it. Both these guys have already secured themselves into the next run.
yes.
So I would say this would not be when to do it. This would be normally you
But
see
they could
something like
very
this.
easily ruin somebody else's.
Right. They would take the turn back.
Yeah, Jake Christenberry's having a little bit of squirrely problem. Are we looking at, no, we're not looking at brand new tires. Not really looking at old tires.
No, Christenberry has been loose here for the past couple of laps.
Yeah. Okay.
I know they're still scrambling here. Vincent Arthur locked up, sitting currently in 8th. Yeah, and he's having a hard time wheeling that thing.
Oh, yeah. But he did only stay down pit road for 30 seconds to get it fixed. Could have spent a little bit more time to not have quite so much trouble.
Yeah, well, trying to remain on the lead lap. There's one thing or another. Stella.
Yes. Oh. What happened?
Number 9 is reactivated. Back out on the track for Kaliba. Their bout. See if this kind of rears its head and comes back alive.
But in the meantime, Nick Cressy is up 10. Hunter Sr. is up 12 places, sitting 3rd and 4th. I'm not going to point out, but I've never seen Hunter Sr. in the top 5. I may be mistaken. Short-term memory, long-term memory, all gone. But he's doing wonderfully.
I believe he came in a little too late to
League?
Yeah, play.
Yes, but I mean, just he's racing very well today.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, he's doing an awesome job. Check out Nick Cressy. Nick Cressy has yet to give up on that outside line.
He has. As many times as he's hit the wall, he's still loving up on it.
With that Days of Thunder, he always holds the outside. I think everybody's kind of figured that out. Down to the bottom they go. Hunter Sr. looking for 3rd. I'd have it here. Very, very close. No can do. Cressy still holding them off. Watch the 40 be able to pull out. Here's the turn exit speed by Cressy. And a scrub to the wall.
That does not help. Dalton Tucker, back down.
There we go. So Cressy going ahead and ducking down just a little bit to block the 40. So the 40 wouldn't get another run. And Cressy able to hold off Hunter Sr. That works out really well for them. As Hunter Sr.'s doing everything he can to see if he can find a groove to get underneath of him. John Scavanicki, although spinning out there on lap 169, is still holding a top 5 spot here tonight.
Even with the EOL. I mean, because he did have to start at the back of the lapped cars line, if I remember right.
Yep.
That was a half a track back.
Yep. Keep an eye out there on Dustin Kleba. See out there in the chat that Ken Kleba's thinking the number 9 is coming out to make the 2 cars that took him out a little bit nervous. I know Dustin Kleba got in a little bit of a mess out there with Vincent Arthur. Lap 164.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that really Ryan Housen, I don't know, the Dalton Tucker guy in the back of Kleba, and Kleba hit the inside wall. That may be the second car he's referring to. Dalton Tucker still remains in pit, currently holding in 13th. Nick Ham has passed him. And Dalton Tucker is now taking it back to the garage.
Took it back.
So Brian Jones, we will keep tabs on it there. I'll have you kind of busting down the door there with Josh Conover. And see if maybe our regular season winner may go to the 45 here, as he is out in front by 1.5 seconds over top of Brady Moats. Moats doing an awesome job here. One of the admins here of the league. I guarantee you right now he's going to have a lot to unfold here. in this run.
Wow. So being, like you say, Brian Jones behind Dalton Tucker by 168 points, even if he wins, that's 43 points. Do we do the lead lap and post-leads and any of that bonus points?
That's possible.
Okay.
I want to say definitive. I believe for bonus points that would be a yes.
Yeah, they get them. I just didn't know how big.
Sometimes depending on if you won the pole position off leading a lap and then leading the most laps. Back in this time, that's about what they were doing.
Okay.
This was also the transition in NASCAR going to possible double file restarts and green white checkers.
Okay. I'm just looking at, so 15 points is probably the best you can get.
Bonus one, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Brian Jones has been doing an awesome job, so he'll gain another 5 points. So we should have an extra 10 bonus points if that's what you're considering. Brian Jones was actually on the pole here tonight.
Plus 43 is still not going to make Brian Jones the regular season champ. He can't pass Dalton Tucker.
Okay, so it's 43.
Yeah, they go 43, 42, 41, like that. I think best case scenario, he'd still be 10 points behind.
Okay. Yeah, that's a possibility. I've seen where like a race win you get to 150 points, and then 5 points less than that is second. Like after I think 20th is when they start counting down by single points.
Okay.
But like I said, this is also that transition year where everything got a little bit different.
Gosh. I know the other league where I was involved in those, that's how they did it. Because that's how they really did it. So if they do it a different way, then
I don't know if anybody had radioed up. I know guys out there, we try to keep things spicy out here. A lot of things happening. Currently that is Anthony Kroback. Under fire here by Vincent Arthur, but a hop, skip, and a jump. The number 9 of Dustin Kleba has returned. Directly behind the 24 car now. Yep, so I don't know when we definitely had something there. They radioed up. If something was mentioned out there, they better cut it out. Like I said, you can almost understand the frustration out there from the 9. But in the same sense, we're racing for points here, we're racing to get into the playoffs. Both these guys have made the playoffs here. And I think Kleba's just getting a little annoyed. Like I said, he's not had one of the greatest seasons out there, but has still been able to stick it out for 6th place in points.
Now I'm going to bring something up. Matthew George is 25 right now. That's right next to Vincent Arthur, or right between Vincent Arthur and Dustin Kleba. Our teammates. Matthew George and Vincent Arthur are teammates.
Yep.
So he may be providing a bit of a buffer just to make us square.
Yeah, well, but also remember, Matthew George is, I thought, battling to get into the playoffs.
Oh, without a doubt.
So Nick Pressey is really pushing to see if he can get in. And he's only off by how many? 48?
Yes, from Matthew George.
Right. Vincent Arthur definitely gets past Kroback and is trying to scramble to get away. 14 laps left to go here. Hunter Sr. still remains in second as he chases our leader, Brian Jones. Right now,
Nice.
it is still working out front here for Brian Jones. He definitely has gotten way out front. No 0.6 of a second here. Now it's
No.
2.4. So he goes ahead and quadruples that number over top of Hunter Sr. Brady Moats sets third. Cody Reeder is our fourth place driver. Not bad, especially for the offset pitting he has done out here all night tonight. And Nick Pressey looking to go back-to-back here with top 5 finishes. But boy, oh boy, the next driver looking for him is going to be John Scavanicki. Only a couple cars back, as I believe that should be the 84 out there of Wayne Eastwood that separates the two.
Nice. Yeah, he's really, like you say, picked up since he changed equipment. It's good to see because he was having some low times.
Yeah, I always say no drive. You know, even real time, you never point fingers, you know, at the driver 100%. Sometimes you're only as good as your equipment. I've seen great drivers go out there for a race team that wasn't worth putting the money into the car, and then all of a sudden, you know, they get onto a better team and race 10 times better, and you go, man, where'd this guy come from? And it was just something silly like that, with them, you know, just kind of tossing around with the equipment. So yes, an equipment upgrade here for Nick Preston may be doing just that. Instead of us thinking, you know, maybe he was having a ton of trouble out here trying to hang with these guys here at the NORA Racing.
Well, that goes with almost any team. I mean, we've seen Denny Hamlin come in and get totally wasted by his pit crew. You know, you've got so it goes both ways. You can have you know, Jeff Gordon with the Rainbow Warriors. He comes in and it helps him win the race. So, like, yeah, changing teams, changing equipment. If something ain't working, change it up.
Yep.
What's that? The definition of insanity. You continue to do the same thing, except expect different results.
All right, these two are going to cut it out here. 7 laps left to go. Preston's starting to do a little bit of work here. Knows how Matthew Gordon comes down. You might be right here. This might be a little bit of blocking. Have to keep Kaliba away from the 24. I'm sure Ken out there is kind of chuckling at what's happening out there on the track. Car here. Matthew George making the pass on Vincent. 6 to go.
Considering how much repair Dustin Cleaver's had, his car is doing wonderfully.
Yep. Oh boy, here it comes.
Vincent just kind of tagged the wall, perhaps a little mirror driving.
Hope for the best here, and nothing will continue of this.
Yeah, and do not worry, our top 3 are a good 2 seconds between each one, so we're not having any sudden lead changes that we're missing. Yeah.
I would say the top 3 are just about confirmed here for the end. Brian Jones, Hunter Sr., Brady Moats. Right now, I think even Brady Moats is looking at least about a half a second, 0.7 of a second here before Cody Reeder can reach up and touch him. And then 4.5 seconds back to John Scavanicki. So, yeah, looking pretty solid here for our top finishers. As we've seen these guys battle back and forth out there on the track. I noticed Nick Pressey trying to make sure he can stay away from Matthew Gordon now out there.
Pressey's putting on a good push, but at least, you know, to try to make top 5.
Yeah, I would say Pressey, I think, would like to keep Scavanicki behind him, but I don't think that's going to be really an opportunity for him here.
Well, they'd really like to keep Matthew George behind him. So, since those two are competing so much for the finals, for the playoffs.
All right, final lap here for Brian Jones. Only 2 more turns, and he brings this one home. Early down to the inside for Brian Jones, crossing the line here. Great job as he wins the race here tonight. Hunter Sr. will be second. Brady Moats third. Cody Reader fourth. John Skavenick waiting for our 5th place driver to make it here. Nick Pressey is now in 6th. Matthew George has been through for 7th. Vincent Arthur is 8th. Talk of the night here will be based on this guy on the number 9. Right now, I can feel his frustration. So awesome job here tonight, Jay. You wish you had sponsored this one here, buddy. This was a heck of a race. All the way to the end. Let's take a look at where all our guys finished out here tonight. All 18 drivers have showed up. Christopher Heights, unfortunately, out there in that Rusty Wallace number 2, got the worst of it. Hopefully this sort of thing out here doesn't continue to go on.
Yep.
I will say, Jay, you did get your money's worth. Plenty of screen time. You see Vincent Arthur actually doing some off-roading here as he finds a way back behind the pits.
Oh, he is on the wrong side.
Alrighty, everybody, hang in there. We're going to be cutting away to find our drivers, and we'll be right on back. All right, everybody. 3rd place finisher here was Brady Moats, and what a wild run this was. You know, a lot of things happened out here on the track. A lot of people spitting, fighting, and cussing out there, but right now, Brady Moats, the process worked for him here tonight. The number 1 Chevrolet finishes 3rd. All right, Brady, talk to me about this race, man, and kind of how we round up the regular season.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this interview, Pat. This is all this tomfoolery's been going on up here and everything else. I've been waiting for this one. I just want to, you know, come on here and say, you know, that all the KPR guys are just a bunch of hacks, you know. I mean, especially that Kleba guy, he just can't stand him, you know. He's just, I mean, and all that. I mean, I just, you know, and Reader and all them over there, they just race like hacks, you know. They're just terrible. And then that Conover guy over there, you know, in that A car, I don't even know why I put him in the car. I mean, he's just awful. You know what I'm saying? So, but besides the fact, anyways, I mean, we raced side by side with Reader for probably about 40 laps, and I'm glad that he didn't wreck me. Usually he does, but I mean, he didn't wreck me that time. So, I mean, that was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I just kind of kept the nose clean, 0X. I mean, wake up in the morning, you know, and do what I need to do, and not going to be throwing expletives out in the broadcast, but, you know, do what I do, wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Trust the process. No, just kidding. I'm glad to be back at the podium for real. Like, honestly, it's been a while. I'm glad to be up here with y'all.
Yeah, that it has, Brady. And now we've got a lot of short track racing coming up before we end up back at any super speedway. What we saw happen tonight was a ton of green flag racing, and I can't help but to thank you guys for doing such a great job here tonight, really keeping it clean. I would say, if anything is to come of parts of this race that I know that I'm sure will be under review, probably take a make sure we look at it at a wide angle here. There's a lot of things that kind of caused certain things to kind of come to a head, and I've got to admit, retaliation is one thing, being into the playoffs is another, but, when does it get to a point enough's enough?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that conspired tonight. Definitely the team, we're all going to look at it together, kind of figure out what's going on. Definitely it wasn't one driver. I mean, I know y'all saw it. It was a few of them. So, kind of some craziness. We haven't had something like that happen in a race in a while. But like Josh said over the radio, those guys, he was just like, man, y'all just got to quit being children, and we're just going to take a look at it. Like, that's not what we do in this league. We aren't a bunch of children and all that. But I understand. I have no room to talk because, I mean, hell, y'all see me. I get freaking hot and stuff, and I lose my cool as well. So I've done it before. No, I mean, it just we'll take a look at it as a team, and we'll all kind of conspire our heads together as admins and make the best decision going forward, just to kind of alleviate that from happening in the future. But I mean, I will say I've seen worse, but I mean, still, it's inexcusable. We can't let that happen.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I've seen 100% worse as well. I just try to figure out if there's a justification for it, and then work from there. New Hampshire is the next, to me, yuck. What a disgusting track we're going to be at. I've actually had
your record was
the record amount of cautions there. I think it was 37.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that was one of the most painful broadcasts I have ever done. I'm assuming the way you guys raced here tonight, that is not going to be what we're going to see next week.
No, you're gonna definitely see a lot of crazy lines there. I'll say in this car. I'll go ahead and preempt y'all for that. That'd be kind of exciting to watch. Maybe pretty racy. I remember, didn't we have a photo finish last time we were here between the 32 and one of the Roush cars? I think. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure we had a photo finish, but it might be pretty good racing. I don't think we had a whole bunch of cautions last time, but I mean, I can't really remember. I do know it was kind of some outsiders coming like to the checkered there at the end in the first one of the year. So, I mean, a lot when your typical contenders, you're hacking the 9, and the other hacking the 19, and all those guys, So, I mean, those guys weren't up front, so it might have got a little bit chaotic, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, I know we put on some really, really good racing, truly, the first time we went over there. So I'm excited for it because I feel like I've kind of found something that I found at the end of the race, the first race. So maybe I can make it work again and run that same line and get in the rhythm and let her go. But love to see long green flag runs there because, I mean, your best of the best prevail. And I mean, usually we'll come out, if I let it come out on the long run, I come out like 6th or 7th or whatever, and do pretty good and coming up through the field, but it'll be fun.
Awesome. Brady, shout out time, brother.
Shout out my wife. Let me do this on Mondays and Tuesdays. We're doing dirt race tomorrow night too for NORA, so that'll be fun. I know it's not gonna be that many guys, but it'll be fun. Shout out to you guys for always put on a great broadcast, and just shout out Josh, put on a great league and everything like that, and all the admins. And we got our work cut out for us this week. We're trying to get something decided here, but all in all, I mean, shout out to these guys too on the track. I mean, despite the childishness and everything like that. I mean, truly, it was great racing tonight. I mean, really it was, and it's definitely a lot better than most leagues or especially officials you get in with the short track racing. Overall, this year has been better than average. I'll say it's been pretty good. So.
All right, Brady. Good luck to you, buddy. And I think the NORA hauler calls you. Good luck, and we'll see how you do next week.
Thank you, Pat.
All right, that's going to do it for Brady Moats. That's going to bring you, Stella, to picking up Hunter Sr., which I think this may be the first time we're finally getting a hold of the number 40, the Coors Light machine out there. Normally driven by Sterling Marlin out there, but did an awesome job here tonight, moving up 14 positions to finish second.
Yes, sir.
Well, Hunter, yes, I see you. So
Yeah.
up 14 is fantastic. I made a comment during the race tonight that you were really staying clean out there and getting up front, and it's been a little bit of time coming. What's your new secret?
Honestly, it's probably the team I'm working with. Dalton and Ryan. They're the ones that have given me everything, and the reason I finished second.
Oh.
It's pretty much them two.
Okay, well, those two got a bit of punishment this evening. Ryan was up on two wheels. Dalton had pieces flying. So, yeah, did they shield you from it, or just say stay out of the way?
Well, I still got a little bit of it under caution. I don't know if I got it on the stream with the 9. He had too much damage on his caution with the 24. I was told to pass him, and when I went to pass him, he kind of came up and hit me. So he kind of got us all in that caution.
Oh.
But I mean, it's not his fault. I'm not going to blame him. I think he had just too much damage.
Okay, yeah, because I know somehow he had managed to make contact with the whole team. It was
Yeah.
pretty impressive. But like Patrick was saying, next week is New Hampshire. How you feeling about that?
I look at it like this track. I really like these flat tracks. It's kind of where I feel like I'm gonna kind of show the best. Especially like last week at Auto Club, I was really happy to go to Auto Club and didn't get the result I was kind of looking for. But tonight, I mean, just one position shy of being able to come in here as a winner. So I'm definitely excited to go to next week. Like I said, I love these flat tracks, especially in this car. It just meshes so well for me, and I'm excited.
All right. Yeah, I noticed everybody seems to have a specialty, There's the guys that like the speedways, there's the guys that like the short tracks. So, all right, we're starting to dial you in. We know
Yeah.
when to expect to see you. So, yeah, I was happy to see you in the top 5, and you were ready to go for number 1. I like it. Hungry. Hungry is the way to be. So, you got some shout outs for me tonight?
Yeah, one of the big shots I like to give, especially, they're not really over here. I'm trying to get them to come over here. Juicy Spider, they do editing and YouTube videos. They work with a lot of great, broadcasting channels and one of our bigger leagues that we're kind of working with. Those guys, every single one of them, Josh, Donald, Nick, Jared, Mike, they like I said, they do a lot of great editing. Not just because of the editing, I'm giving them a shout out but because of what they do with me. They help me out and they give me a lot and they pay for my charters. They work with me to get better at this, and they're pretty much the reason I'm still doing this. Like I said, a lot of those guys, they're just and if I can get them to come over here, they're gonna make a pretty big impact. And every single one of those guys they're flawless at what they do, and they're really good. And big thanks to you guys. I like to go back and watch these streams. You guys are really good. You guys are killing it. So thank you to you guys.
Goodness, well, thank you. Yeah, it's all Patrick, believe me. But well, Patrick, what do you have to add?
The Chip
always
Nazi
have
racing team. What is the general consensus about how the temperament is of everybody in the chat?
Well, I get along really good with Ryan. Me and him have really good. I mean, I kind of mesh with him because we have the same kind of temperament. Once I kind of get into the situations, then I kind of go off a little, but we're both the same. I'm learning Dalton pretty well. He's a really great guy to work with, and they're really cool-headed. They're really fair in a lot of ways, and they're both communicative. Like they communicate with me pretty well, so I haven't seen anything from them guys, and I think that like I said, I think they're cool-headed and they're really great people to work with.
Cool. All right, Hunter. Awesome job here tonight, man. New Hampshire will kind of be rooting on the Coors Light machine, and hopefully you'll be able to bring it in yet another podium position. I would say a little late to the year, buddy, but I think this will definitely wind up for the 2005 season that I see is already in the works. Good luck to you out there, buddy.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. I like that PC answer. Very quiet. Everybody nice and easy. Don't want to let anything go, so we'll go ahead and grab the expel machine, as I see Miss King is already out there watching the 45 machine, making the job easy work here tonight. All right, well, we'll start with Brian Jones first, and then we'll work on the rest of it. Brian, this offset pitting, boy, did that work out to a T or what?
Well, I didn't think it was anything crazy. It just I just kind of did the math and did what I thought was going to be the fastest. And I was a little surprised people waited so long to get on pit road, especially when the tires had such little fall off.
Now, where to you talk about doing the math and guys staying out there, your own teammate stayed out there. And we're talking he stayed out there another almost 30 laps later. I mean, what is going on inside the team? I mean, you guys work together?
Well, for sure, we calculate, how far we think we can go based on the fuel. And then beyond that, it's just pace. There's probably at least 2 strategies tonight. It might have gone to 3 strategies, kind of how the cautions came out throughout the night. But you could either go 60 laps or you can try and go 80. If you don't have quite the pace to think you're going to win by going 60, you try and go 80. And I think Cody was trying to go 80. I'm not sure which strategy Dustin was on, but we wanted to be sure we covered all our bases out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of will poke the bear a little bit here. I don't think it mattered what strategy Dustin Kleba was on, because I would say he was a non-recoverable soul after about lap 164. And then it got worse from there. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what happened in the team chat and what went through your guys, kind of what... I'm trying to figure out a nice way of saying it. What was going on out there? Because I'm sure words were said and we see retaliation out here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening when you're trying to lead the race here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't have eyes on it. I think it was happening behind me, but from whatever I could tell, it just sounded like somebody got loose and it maybe got a little blown out of proportion. I'm not real sure.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, there are a lot of things. If you go back and tune into the broadcast here, I was going to say, I believe Ms. King out there is saying, just observing the drama. There's some wild stuff. Did even put up on our screen here that the radio was going crazy, but I did not produce what voices were coming through. I don't think they were worthy of our stream, but Brian, we see you starting to really drum up a lot of wins here and a lot of top 5s. And this is a great time to start getting hot here, especially when we move into New Hampshire next week. Now, flat track, Hunter Sr. says, hey, man, these are the kind of tracks he likes to race on. What about the 45? I mean, it's going to be a little while before we get on to a super speedway or any track where I would say everybody's most comfortable at. How do you feel about moving to New Hampshire next week?
Oh man, I love New Hampshire. I don't know if I've ever won there with NORA, but it is definitely one of my favorite tracks. I think they recently redid it, so I say that, but I like the old New Hampshire. I haven't really driven the new one, so I'll have to give that a shot.
All right, deep breath by all of us. Checking out there, and even in our chat, GT Smartwatch is saying there were 16 cautions last time we were at New Hampshire. So, obviously, starting in the front is going to be the key to success.
Yeah, I mean, really, qualifying now, we're going to be in the playoffs, is going to be paramount. Passing in this car has gotten so difficult with how little tire wear that there is. How easy these cars have gotten to drive. iRacing really nerfed how hard they were. That was what was kind of fun about them, is they had a little shorter wheelbase. They had a ton of power. The tires didn't stick as much, but these things are stuck to the ground now. They're just not as fun to drive and they're not as challenging. So yeah, you can't really pass people. You just got to qualify well.
Really? Yeah, because I thought this was the driver's car.
Well, it probably still is. But iRacing has kind of nerfed all the cars where none of them are that powerful or hard to drive.
Okay. I had a conversation with a couple of people out there saying the Gen 4 draft package was garbage on these, and they're hoping they're going to change it up a little bit and at least make it somewhat competitive out there. Or less on the draft, more on the car, the driver and the engine. So we'll definitely see when Talladega comes back around if that's going to be the case. Also, when you give me your shout-outs here tonight, Brian, for God's sakes, put out there in the chat what we got to use to go ahead and get one of those foam cannons, buddy.
Oh, man. If you need any car care supplies, including foam cannons, wash kits, car soaps, you name it, You can go to expel.com/shop and use code Alanis20 for 20% off at checkout. Also, a big shout out to Home Field. It's college football season. That's another big sponsor for us on the YouTube channel. So Home Field Apparel has the best officially licensed collegiate apparel, and it's college football season. So what better time to do that? We don't actually have a promo code anymore because we sold so many shirts, they took it away. But go ahead and shop for some apparel over at homefieldapparel.com.
Cool. Is that for all college teams?
As far as I can tell, it is every single college team. Maybe not like D3, but pretty much every D1 team.
But like the University of Tennessee.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They have college football kickoff boxes where you can just get a bunch of Tennessee Vols merch. Again, no code, so sorry about that, but check out Home Field Apparel.
Sweet. That's all right. I'll see if I can stab your name in there and see if it works. All right, Brian, you got any other shout-outs there for us, buddy?
Yeah, just a big shout-out to my wife, Alanis. She's a big supporter. She loves watching the races, and I appreciate her for letting me race on Mondays and Wednesdays. And big shout-out to LJ. I know that he and his family watch on the TV in their living room, so just shout out to those guys for always supporting.
Awesome job. Brian Jones, congratulations on yet another win, man. It almost seems you can't be stopped out there. This going ahead and tying you with two other drivers, Vincent Arthur and Dalton Tucker, and now you are in the books for 5 wins this season. So out of 15 races, you 3 hold that number. So great job tonight bringing that 45 home, and we will see what you can do at New Hampshire, buddy.
All right, we'll see you there.
All right, that's going to do it for us here, guys. We'll send Brian Jones back down to the Evernham Motorsports crew as this night got dicey. Boy, oh boy, it did get dicey. A lot of drivers upset at one another, but that is short track racing. You can't doubt that one bit. When we see you see something like that at Bristol, we see something like that at Martinsville, Richmond. You would think it's just a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and guys wouldn't hammer each other. Absolutely not. Everybody pile driving for that same spot.
So I have the driver standings as to who will be going into the playoffs, and I have who the regular season champ is.
All right, go ahead.
Alrighty. Regular season champ, Dalton Tucker. He could not be passed this evening by Brian Jones, even though Brian did come in with some awesome points for winning and doing all the other bonuses. Just a bit outside. But Brian Jones is in second, followed by Dakota Reeder, Vincent Arthur, Brady Moats, Dustin Kleba, Jacob Gladelick, Josh Conover, Kevin Baumler, and Matthew George.
Matthew George made it.
He made it. They just minuscule, but Nick Pressey was on the outside of that cutoff point. So
Bummer.
there you go.
Bummer. That bites.
Now,
All right, guys, don't forget to tune in next week for us at New Hampshire, but that's going to do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the National Oval Racing Association, the Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.